Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Thomas. Tonight we're back here with the kill count with the 1996 Tremors sequel, Aftershocks. So yeah, this is basically the follow-up to the first Tremors movie, which I think they're going down to Mexico if I remember correctly. So without any further ado, be sure to like, subscribe for more. Hope you enjoy it. Let's go! Sorry, I had a burp.
Welcome to the Kill Count,
Hey,
where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm Zoran Horatio Rodriguez-Gavoyich, and today we are continuing our seismological study of the Tremors franchise with Tremors 2 Aftershocks, released direct-to-video in 1996. Tremors 2 is a very special movie for me because it's the one I used to watch and quote constantly with my brother Alex. Yep,
like your shirt.
The normal name. In some ways, I love it more than the original. It's a great example of how to do a sequel. The core concept stays the same, but there are interesting new twists that keep things fresh. Originally set to be a theatrical release filmed in Australia for $17 million in 1993, the project was almost canceled when Kevin Bacon and Reba McEntire turned it down due to scheduling conflicts. And also,
I'm not gonna do Tremors 2. Tremors 1 was a bomb.
So without star power, it was deemed too expensive for a
later.
theatrical release and was moved to the home video division with a much lower $4 million budget. 1/3 of the original. But boy, did they stretch that sucker out. The original film's creators returned with their newly formed company, Stampede Entertainment. Nancy Roberts and Ron Underwood produced, while Brent Maddock and Steve Wilson wrote the script. And Steve took over directing duties since he directed Second Unit on Tremors 1.
It's a wrap.
The theatrical script was used, minus a few expensive scenes involving Burt in a full-size tank and everyone fighting the creatures with Civil War muskets. The only returning cast members were Fred Ward and Michael Gross.
Burt in an actual tank,
is a reworking of Kevin Bacon's character from the original script, and the movie lets you know it.
Oh, actually, I'm not the
I'm the new
original guy.
Despite its drastically lower budget and direct-to-video release, Tremors 2 holds its own against the original film. There's still tons of incredible practical effects by the returning amalgamated dynamics, a perfect balance of horror and comedy thanks to a tight script by Wilson and Maddock, and the trademark of any Tremors film, plans! Tremors 2 picks up years after the first film. Val and Earl had their brush with fame, but it didn't last. Val is married and living off screen, while Earl makes ends meet by farming ostriches. He gets a second chance at fame and fortune when a Mexican oil tycoon hires him to go graboid hunting at a refinery in Mexico. He's teamed up with a taxi driver named Grady, our returning Atlanta Hawks fan Burt Gummer, and another geologist love interest. Together they explode their way to fortune and glory. That is, until the worms begin to turn.
It's a whole new ball game. A whole new goddamn ball game.
Will Part 2's Aftershocks be as strong as the originals? Let's find out and get to the kills.
Yeah, ironically, Aftershocks usually more deadly than the actual earthquake from what I've heard. Or am I thinking of something else from earthquakes? You know, the whole Aftershocks thing. You know, people think, oh, we're over it, then Aftershocks hits, and they're like, ah, crap, click. You know, that I can't say for sure, but wouldn't be surprised. Anyway, so let's see what happens to the Graboids tonight with Tremors 2. Let's begin.
The movie begins with another simple and shaky title card, followed by a very special credit you'll be seeing in every movie after this. We fade into the Petromaya oil field in Chiapas, Mexico, which in reality is mostly jungle, but here it looks like Valencia, California, near Six Flags Magic Mountain. An oil worker, played by Thomas Rosales Jr., previously seen on the kill count as an El Scorpio gang member in Predator 2, and ignoring Peter Stormare in The Lost World, plays a game of Scooty Pipe, which is interrupted by an underground
Graboid.
Graboid. The worker's only salvation lies at his sex van on the other side of this oil drum field. He Marios his way across until the barrels start crashing behind him. He takes an oil spill and faster than you can say X on Valdez. We have our first Graboid. Returning mechanical effects creator Peter Chesney and production designer Ivo Cristante improved upon the sand-clogged hydraulics and buried puppeteers from the first film. This time they built a raised platform and used pure manpower and counterweights to burst the 200-pound creature through the ground, allowing it to devour our oil worker without even chewing. Oh, Graboid, that's how you get a tummy ache. We return to Perfection Valley, Nevada, and Earl Bassett, once again played by Fred Ward, only with longer hair, since that's the only way he'd agree to do this movie.
Why?
Seriously. He's now an ostrich farmer, and not a good one. Aw, man, you dirtied up your shirt. Well, nothing a little jump cut can't fix.
There you go.
That's better. A taxi approaches all the way from Las Vegas. The passenger is Senor Ortega, a wealthy oil tycoon, and the driver is Grady Hoover, a dirt-poor hatted buffoon. He's played by Christopher Garten, who was once Sookie's fake fiancé on True Blood. Ortega is played by Marcelo Tubert, previously seen in Leprechaun 3 as Gupta, who got a little love nibble from a little shit. No leprechauns here, but Kevin Bacon makes a quick cameo in an article from Madrid, Spain for some reason. Our non-union Mexican equivalent John Hammond explains there have been multiple deaths at his oil field due to certain underground animals. What are those things called again?
Graboids.
See? They're not Tremors, Mom! Senor Ortega needs...
Yeah, fair. Though, Imagine if they actually were the title character, like literally called Tremors, but yeah, I think that would be a little confusing for anyone studying, like, you know, geology, like Sonic and Jaws. I'll probably have to cover that fan animation later, you know, Belena Productions, if I remember the channel name correctly. I'll see if I can find that later. Anyway.
Someone with expertise to take care of these creatures. Earl is not interested, and apparently
It's like,
neither
oh
was
hell
Val.
no,
Val
not going
married
there.
a good woman. Why would he want to die?
Yeah, that's reserved for his after-school Flatliners Club. Earl gets ready to cheer himself up with a little fridge sex, but Grady wants to
I
convince
don't
him
think
to
that's
take
the
the job.
idea.
He's a huge Tremors nerd, just like me, and he even geeks out over a Graboid arcade game. You will be mine one day. Oh yes, you will
Good luck.
be mine. Earl is resistant since he's come to accept the fact that he blew his one big chance, and his wall girlfriend agrees.
This October, 1974.
Yeah, she's there to remind me not to keep chasing after things I'm never gonna get.
Ooh, she's
Harsh.
practical and practically naked. But hey, Earl is also hurting for money, and Grady tells him they're offering $50,000 per Graboid
Really,
kill.
50,000.
Maybe this is your big second chance.
Earl finally agrees
Big one.
to let this movie's plot happen, and Grady insists on providing some impossible bacon.
You're gonna need a partner.
If only because Kevin was busy on the Apollo 13 mission. Earl and
Fair
Grady
enough.
head out as the fantastic score by Jay Ferguson transitions us from Nevada to Mexico.
That was fast.
Jay is also known
then
for
again,
composing
Nevada is
a
on the
Nightmare on Elm
border.
Street 5, as well as the theme song for The Office. Head on over to the Dead Meat socials to see our Tremors Office mashup opening. You mostly won't regret it. Jay only wrote
Mostly.
about 3 minutes of score
Fair
for this
enough.
movie, and you'll hear it used repeatedly, but it's so good, I don't think anybody cares. They arrive at
Well,
the
you wouldn't.
Petromaya field office, where they meet Pedro, the company's chief engineer. Senior Ortega
Wait,
informs
same guy?
them that
Oh,
they
no,
are
he
willing
already
to
died.
offer double the price if they're able to capture a live Graboid, which causes Earl to ADR his feelings.
Never gonna come down here.
Hold that thought, because you haven't met Kate Riley, the geologist for
Okay.
the oil company and Lady Alan Grant cosplayer. What can I say?
Fine with that.
Geologists love to cosplay. She's played by Helen Shaver, who's had a long career both in front and behind the camera, appearing in the Amityville Horror, The Craft, as Littlefoot's mom in The Land Before Time, as well as directing episodes of Lovecraft Country, Law and Order, and Castle. This time she's directing
Nice.
Earl's attention to her, because you can't have a geologist in a Tremors movie without it getting all romantic. I mean, it is the world's sexiest profession. Just try saying cementation without thinking dirty thoughts.
I'm good.
Ew. Night
You
falls
already
and the
did.
freshly shaven Earl makes small talk that leads to a nice and real moment of grief.
6 people got killed.
On your watch.
People I knew.
But we won't count them per the rules set for us by James. The A stands for Almighty Janice.
James
All
Almighty.
hail Janice. James is life.
Kate hands Earl a map to
Wish.
check out, but he's more interested in places a little further south. And
Kate
luckily,
down
Kate
under.
is interested as well, even if the landscape is a little flatter. Kate, like my mom, is curious where the name Graboid came from.
Friend of
Uncle
ours,
Chang.
Walter Chang. He named him.
And then they ate him.
But
Bing!
Grady returns from his Christmas
Named
Carol
me.
rehearsals with chains that'll help attract the Graboids since they hunt by sound. And Julio, Kate's assistant, installs a seismographic monitor that will help them pinpoint any nearby Graboids. So the next morning, Grady and Earl head to the Graboids' last known whereabouts. Grady screams out the window like an infinite wallflower, and it does the trick as we get our first sighting. They stop the truck and unveil their Wile E. Coyote-style plan, involving a detonator, some dynamite, and a monster truck. Whoa, 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 that's not in the budget. Oh, it's
try
an
again,
RC
RC,
car
there you
filmed
go.
in slow motion. Oh, well played, movie. Well played. They drive this non-MCU Thor-themed toy around until they attract a Graboid. Once the car has been sent to Valhalla, they detonate it
And
with a
bye-bye.
big old explosion. And a great callback to the first
First
film, as the
Graboids.
Libby's pumpkin pie-filled pantyhose rain down upon them. Damn, I love the timing of that last little piece hitting. This one, however, comes from the wrong
wrong
direction.
way.
Someone fire that PA! While we add our first Mexican Graboid to Burt's hunting log. Time to celebrate with an epic Graboid hunting montage, set to Travis Tritt's Troub. It's trouble, okay? Travis Tritt's trouble. Jesus Christ, what the
Oops.
fuck? I count 9 massive explosions that range from dry to super goopy, and we later learn that they've made 300,000 for these kills.
Peace.
Oh,
peace. Okay, so 11.
300K was for Grady, that's 600,000 total. And at 50 G's a Graboid, that makes 12 minus the one from earlier, so let's put 11 more on the log. Day turns to night.
Man, like, can you imagine, like, just fishing for graboids and you get like $50,000 for that? Which, I guess when you're dealing with monsters, you might as well go with the guy and just think, oh, this is some good money. Yeehaw. Actually, good math there. Yeah, 50,000 with the 12 they already got. So, anyway.
light, and the graboids might be the least of their worries, considering the enormous moon that must be hurtling towards the Earth at this point. Nevertheless, they catch some Z's while a coyote tries to warn them of the impending moonfall.
Man, he better keep quiet.
The next morning, Grady reveals what he's going to do with his graboid greenbills.
Theme park.
Great idea. And here comes your first investor as a graboid makes an impressive entrance. Achieved by building a 20-foot railroad track and ramming the graboid through some fake ground that isn't styrofoam this time. The graboid snags the Marley chain and helps the boys join the rat race with a super fun non-Jay Ferguson song. I don't know why, but I love the music in this movie. As they're dragged all across the valley, Earl loses his hat, silently calling back to a moment from the first film, while Grady loudly calls out another moment. But this graboid ain't got no goddamn plan! So instead, he turns them around and strands them up on this residual boulder. The graboids swarm! And Earl and Grady escape by driving like a blind Rhonda. Ooh boy, they're gonna need some help deworming this place. So we cut to a very familiar wall and an even more familiar TV dad. Burt looking like me when they release a new season of Fortnite. He gets a call from Earl and we learn that his wife Heather has left him for SNL's Andy Samberg.
Really? You know, she actually blames our problems on the collapse of the Soviet Union. What kind of things does that say to a man?
They continue their cruising catch-up as we get a great reveal gag showing that Burt has mounted that bastard on his goddamn rec room wall. We then end the scene on some class A Burt acting.
What kind of situation?
A graboid
situation.
Back at the refinery, Kate stares at Charlie Brown's Halloween candy until she realizes it's actually a fossil fragment of a graboid spike. And this rock is pre-Cambrian, making graboids the oldest life forms on the planet. Earl isn't too happy about the newly discovered
until the boys did.
Always thought they're from outer space.
No, it's sandworms that are from Saturn.
You hate them, right? I hate them myself. But no time for science stuff. We've got ourselves a situation.
A giant graboid situation. False alarm, it's just Burt, the franchise stalwart Gummer. Burt meets everyone and gives another knowing wink to the audience when it comes to Kevin Facon here.
He the new guy?
What's wrong with being the new guy? New guy or not, Burt's brought enough high explosive to kill any level of wascally worm. So they all head out to kill some more graboids and learn about Burt's favorite food.
Tired of the same old soggy food?
Have an MRE.
What?
Meals, ready to eat. Freeze-dried, foil-sealed. Gotta be foil. Plastic is not an oxygen barrier. Includes entree, cracker pack, cheese spread, beverage powder, spoon,
I think I heard some soldiers call it meals ready to expire.
Toilet tissue, shelf life of 10 years. Buy them all the time. Saves trips to the supermarket.
Available now at our Dead MR Eat store. Side effects of MREs include toilet paper jokes, perpetual bachelorhood, and shrieker multiplication.
Burt uses a more cost-effective tank to do a little graboid fishing. He lands an off-screen catch and...
Wow!
Another graboid is obliterated, but this kaboom might have been
took the rocks with you.
4 pounds of C4 may be a little...
Too much.
Excessive.
We'll add what's left of it to the log. Grady and Earl are wiping a graboid off their car and onto our log when they notice a nearby one moving away from them. Looks like graboids can make their own plans. And this one's throwing itself on the front of the truck like it wants a Saints Row insurance payout. This causes Earl to reverse and crash over a hill. He freaks out while Grady makes a plan without the previously required planning scene made famous in the first film. What a noob! Grady plays bump bump with the graboid, but it doesn't seem interested. Okay, how about a game of tag? Nope. Looks like the graboid ain't feeling so good. Grady, however, feels great because they just caught a live one worth 100 grand. And I don't mean the delicious candy bar. They radio Pedro to bring a tow truck, but he's just got his workers permit, so he's gonna take his sweet ass time. Night falls and Burt radios that he got 3 more graboids to add to the log.
Nice job,
Burt. Well, they got a live one. But based on the noise it's making, it might not be alive
for long, apparently.
We see an incredibly realistic quarter-scale graboid puppet writhing around like it took a shot of Malort. And when Grady and Earl investigate, they find a franchise-changing surprise. The graboid's busted open like a dime store pinata, reminding Earl of broken cocoons when caterpillars change into butterflies, or mogwais turn into gremlins. Also, the folks at Amalgamated Dynamics hand-painted, hand-moved, and hand-slimed this grotesque work of art. And it's one of the few times a full-size graboid has been built, showing these creatures truly massive scale. After radioing back...
also big boy, I gotta say. Jeez. Honestly, if I saw that, I'd been like, well, that can't be good. Watch it back just in case we don't know what the hell was in there. Also, yeah, like I said, just keep an eye out, just look out. Moving along.
Back to the refinery, but only getting static, they spot slow-ass motherfucking Pedro in his truck. Damn it, Pedro, you haven't been the same since spending so much time with your slow-ass motherfucking friend Hefe. They make the hike across the valley and discover Pedro's truck torn to shit. Luckily, Pedro is there to do his best Sam Jackson from Jurassic Park impression.
AKA Just Doms.
Yep, slow-ass motherfucking Pedro is now no-ass motherfucking Pedro, as he was eaten by whatever creatures came out of our graboid.
Yep,
Grady and Earl head out to the radio tower to find it looking like the last Radio Shack in America, and once again cut off, they try and hotwire a station wagon, but are interrupted by sounds from a nearby building. Yes, it's the next evolution in wormy terror. Meet the Shrieker. A mix of CGI and practical effects were used to bring this bipedal bastard to life. Once again designed by Tom Woodruff Jr. and Alec Gillis of Amalgamated Dynamics, who took a price cut to work on this film. They designed the creatures in their off hours while working on Jumanji, and these prehistoric chickens were handmade and hand-operated using a series of levers that almost everyone on set helped operate. I love that they're a family. There was also a puppet version that could be worn for close-ups, and puppeteer Yancy Caldaza described it as walking on your hands and knees with a 6-year-old kid on your neck.
Oh, quit complaining. That's exactly what I go through when I babysit my nephew.
Hands and knees, yeah.
The CGI was handled by Tippett Studio, an effects house specializing in stop-motion animation for such films as RoboCop and Howard the Duck. The studio was created by Phil Tippett, who worked as a dinosaur supervisor on Jurassic Park.
And I'm surprised they hired him after that whole Isla Nublar debacle. Those things were completely unsupervised. You had one job, Phil. One job.
Luckily, he did his job here, and while the CGI might not hold up as well as Jurassic Park, they look a whole lot better than the CGI in the next movie. Trust me.
We'll see.
The Shrieker spots Grady and Earl and lives up to its name.
Shit, it hurt him.
They take it out, and we take it to the log. They notice it doesn't have any eyes, just like the big ones. But before they can investigate further, a bunch more are heard approaching. They skedaddle out of there past 2 real Shriekers and one that's possibly a cyborg from the future. The next day, Kate can't seem to get anyone on the radio, and Julio can't seem to greet her like a normal human being.
Don't do that.
Julio, man, you scare me half to death.
That's okay,
I mean, next
Julio.
time, go
You have
inside.
plenty of time to learn how to human.
No, too late.
Rewind, as Julio is attacked and his leg is violently eaten, showing us that these little bastards are dangerous as fuck. Julio's dragged away and then ingested.
Maybe next time head inside.
Grady returns, shooting one of the Shriekers off screen. Before finding Kate, who has a nice little human moment as she processes Julio's death and learns of Pedro's disarming end. But we can't mourn too long. We've got another practical effect to see, as one of the Shriekers has torn up their only means of escape. Earl adds an inquisitive Shrieker to the log, while Grady laments their situation.
They wrecked our car.
Yeah, we're stuck.
Pedro's truck, the radio tower. How can they be so smart?
They head back inside just in time for math class. So, if there were 8 graboids left, and each one had 3 sacks, how many Shriekers would that make?
24.
24 of those things left.
Great.
Thank you.
Stop cheating! Having killed 3 already, that leaves 21 Shriekers left to deal with. Quite an undertaking. But luckily, Burt has arrived, looking a little worse.
You alright?
I feel I was denied critical, need to know information.
Ooh, better get used to that, Birdie, because it's gonna happen a lot more in this franchise.
Anyway, during the night he was ambushed by Shriekers, and he ran over most of them and killed the rest with small arms fire and hand-to-hand techniques, because he's a fucking badass.
I am completely out of ammo. That's never happened to me before.
While Burt takes a moment, we'll add 19 more Shriekers to the log, because it turns out Burt was able to capture one of the little SOBs alive. They park the truck and do some Oscar-caliber acting with a rubber prop. But under the truck, another Shrieker has gone all Cape Fear and stowed away. Not finding any rakes to comedically step on, they grab a snack
when
with
you
their
got
puppet
mobiles,
tongue.
you gotta
Speaking
check.
of puppets, it's time for the Muppet Show with your host, Bruin the Frog. Yay! Our Statler here doesn't seem amused by the show, so they bring out their special guest, Michael Gross's hand. Yay! The Shrieker goes wild, but it's not because it's a Family Ties fan. This sucker's taking a page from the Predator handbook and using infrared to detect his prey by heat. That explains why they tore up the cars and the radio tower, since they emit all kinds of heat.
I mean, they've been acting so smart because they're so stupid?
Well, at least they're not as stupid as these outfits you use for the infrared effect. Look like a bunch of goddamn Lego minifigs.
They do.
Anyway, they feed the Shrieker some of Burt's MREs.
Available now. And it promptly gets sicker than myself playing drunk Mario Kart with a bottle of soda. But this isn't drunk sickness, it's morning sickness, as it gives birth to a slimy little Shriekling. Looks like our Statler finally has his Waldorf. This effect was achieved by using a full-size Shrieker for the baby, but putting it inside an oversized cage, and having multiple puppeteers recreate the miracle of mouth birth. But how is this reproduction possible?
Hermaphrodites.
Which means these animals have both male and female traits. And once they've had enough food, they can reproduce asexually at an exponential rate.
Hell, that
That's not good.
And gives me the impossible job of counting these little screamy memes when they die.
And I thought this hunting log would be a fun idea.
A Shrieker barges in and Earl hits it with a rock hammer, which is basically a pickaxe, proving Nestor's plan from the first film was sound. Alright! The Shriekers have gotten into Burt's MREs, and while they have a food orgy, everyone else escapes to a nearby warehouse that get all its permits yet. Luckily, the Shriekers' heat sensors can't find them. So looks like it's time for a famed Tremors planning scene. First, Burt, oh shit, they're just going for it without a planning scene. Well, fuck me.
Again, they got the doors, why not?
To hide their body heat and make their way to Julio's truck. Unfortunately, one of the Shriekers had the same idea, and Burt only has one bullet left for his Lar Grizzly Big Bore single-shot 50 caliber Browning machine gun rifle.
I looked it up, bitches!
And then
he takes aim at the Shrieker as it considers quitting human killing and going to law school. Oh shit! That explosion is incredible.
Nice
Dummy
shot.
the practical dummy puppet suspended from a crane. And a hand knocking out that glass window there.
Oops.
Also, that's a real 8-inch bullet after Michael
slingshot
Gross's
probably
firing,
worked too.
leading us to add a very sloppy Shrieker to the law.
Nice shot,
Smoked his
Burt.
ass.
Doing what I can with what I got.
Unfortunately, what you got is a very
one,
cool
two,
tracking shot that illustrates
three.
the power of your gun.
Oops.
Burt's shot took out the fuel line on Julio's truck, but don't blame him.
We were supposed to be up against graboids. I wanted maximum penetration.
Oh, if that's all you wanted,
Hey,
I think they
phrasing?
sell those pills behind the counter at the liquor store. They head to the cantina for shelter, but get separated when they're spotted by the local Shrieker choir. Grady heads up a nearby tower,
Get on
Burt
top.
hops into a bulldozer, while Earl and Kate make it to the cantina and arm themselves with Broomit and his wife, Miss Moppy.
Oh, this is pathetic.
Hey, I'm trying here. Why don't
Not
you just
you.
stick to your formula and leave the jokes to me?
I've got a plan.
That's more
And we
like
got a
it.
spear.
Earl runs some hot water on a jumpsuit while Kate goes all Roadhouse on one of the Shriekers. The CGI creatures
the
reassure
tongue.
each other
Ouch.
that they'll never look dated, while Earl puts the steaming hot jumpsuit on a clothesline and sends it out as a distraction. The plan works, allowing Kate and Earl to make it to the nearby oil tower
Grady.
with Grady. Tempers begin to flare as their current situation seems dire.
We're stuck on a goddamn roof with a bunch of watches trying to eat us. I mean,
Triggers.
I've done this before, and I did not like it.
Why don't you just
Okay,
ask that van
geez,
back there for
relax.
help? Whoops, looks like we gotta fire another PA. Kate
Someone forgot to
convinces
cut that
everyone
out.
someone
Oops.
will eventually come looking for them. So now we play the
Waiting game.
Oh, the waiting game sucks.
Boring.
Let's play Screamy Shriekers. Grady wins at the cost of the Shrieker's self-esteem. Earl and Kate push their romantic subplot forward by sharing cute banter and backstory. We learned that Kate used to be a model.
I was even a playmate once.
Wait, Earl,
year?
did you hear that?
October 74.
Yep, she's the one you
Damn.
had on your wall
74,
all those
cool.
years, reminding you not to chase after things you're never gonna get. And technically, you'll never get that particular bunny since she's actually Debbie Ellison, Miss September 1970. They changed it because the real Miss 74 didn't look like Helen Shaver. The Shriekers start to Cirque du Soleil their way up the oil tower while Burt wakes
crap.
up from a little bulldoze. He hops into action and leads the Shriekers' copy and pasted walk cycle into a warehouse, shuttering the gate so they can't escape. Problem solved. Anything to add, Grady?
How'd you kill me so stupid?
Hello again, Pot.
Yeah.
This is the kettle, and that kettle is
Wait, what's
going
in there?
off. Looks like they
Oh,
found some
crap,
food
we got a
in
lot
that
more.
warehouse. So I think we're gonna need another plan.
You're gonna squirt me with this.
CO2 to make you cold.
Right, they won't see me.
Earl's gonna get inside and blow up these Shriekers with a bomb. So he gets sprayed down with a
Just
fire
throw 'em.
extinguisher.
Man, this
Actually-
stuff is cold.
And I can't tell you how many times
This
my
stuff's
brother
cold.
Alex and I said that quote while we were living in Chicago.
Hey.
Mwah. Love you, bro.
Yeah.
Why'd I kiss my fingers?
The Shriekers can't see Earl thanks to his Mr. Freeze impression, so he can just chill out while making it past a crap
Whoa,
ton
that's
of
a lot of
CGI and
people.
practical puppets. After a while, he begins to melt like a snow
Oh,
cone
no.
in Phoenix, which gets him spotted by a Shrieker, causing these pint-sized
You better
pre-Cambrians
move.
to pounce. He tosses a bomb into the truck, and the others lower a fire
Oh.
hose to his rescue. Earl does a Tarzan swing, but gets a 3 on the dismount while the Shriekers push away boxes to reveal they're actually robots. Earl climbs to freedom and tells
Not gonna
everyone
hide
that
in
he
the
set a
special.
bomb while he was in there.
You what?
Yep,
Yep,
right on top
okay.
of 2.5 tons of high explosives. We should be safe behind this warehouse, though.
No, further.
Keep going. It's gonna be big.
They keep running until
okay.
they find a ditch of convenience and take cover. Because, like Burt said,
Come
It's
on.
gonna be big. Is it gonna be today?
the answer is a
get in
resounding.
Whoa.
Still to this day, one of my all-time favorite movie explosions.
Ooh, big
This
boom.
scene was filmed with an incredibly detailed miniature, shot at a high frame rate to give it the proper and epic weight this explosion deserves. Grady is tossed into the trench like a sack of
Whoa.
potatoes to match
Hey, we
his IQ.
warned ya.
And there's a moment of silence before the PAs toss out the remaining
jeez.
Shrieker props before the
Oh, God,
rap party.
look out.
Wait, no rap party? Damn you, budget!
As they approach the crater formerly known as the refinery, Earl and Kate make plans for the future, and Grady points out how many graboids should be in our log.
They owe us for 28 worms, man.
Oh, I love it when movies do my work for me.
Thank you, Grady.
Oh, and what about all the little ones that died in the explosion? Well, based on the largest wide shot I saw in the warehouse, I counted 19 shriekers
why not they gonna
before Earl
approve
dropped
this?
the bomb. So let's add them to the log. The refinery aftermath is shown in a beautiful matte painting.
Yeah, I ain't gonna explain that one.
That writer-director Steve Wilson got to keep after production. And so we end this movie with Grady asking Earl to be his partner in his theme park monster
I don't know,
world.
I'm done.
No way.
Come on, Earl. This could be like your big third chance.
How many big
We already
second
had a
chances
second
did the
chance, I'm
Graboids
good.
give our human cast to survive?
Need a break.
Let's find out and get to the numbers. But first, Papa needs a quick 50 G's.
I'm in.
Goddamn PAs!
One of them was James.
Only 3 people died in Tremors
Damn,
2.
all guys.
All of them men, giving us a charge bluer
And
than the
again,
Mexican
this was pretty much
Valencia sky. With a
Graboid
runtime of
hunting
100
season.
minutes, that gave us a kill on average every 33 1/3 minutes.
Nice.
Which, coincidentally, is the Naked Gun film Fred Ward starred in.
Hey.
Who knew? The humans stepped up their game this time with a whopping 28 Graboid kills and at least 42 Shriekers to
Damn,
add to
that's
the
a
hunting
lot.
log, giving us a pre-Cambrian lifeform kill every
Dang.
1.43 minutes. We'll give the golden chainsaw for coolest kill to Julio. That leg chewing was gnarly as hell, and it's the only time we actually
Surprised they
see
didn't
these
give it to the
Shriekers
elephant
doing
gun.
damage. Plus, it emotionally scarred Kate, and that's always a plus.
And
No
double
machete for
shade?
lamest kill will go to Pedro, because I don't
yeah,
like the
just
trend of ripping
no
things
bodies.
off from Jurassic Park. I'm looking at you, Tremors 5. Burt's hunting trophy goes to the Shrieker blown up by Burt's Lar Grizzly Big Bore single shot 50 caliber. Oh, fuck the name of
The
this gun!
anti-tank gun!
I love that
Woohoo!
kill though. And that's it. Tremors 2 Aftershocks came out in 1996 and did well enough on home video to warrant another sequel, Tremors 3 Back to Perfection, which I'll be looking at in 2 weeks. Until then, I'm a half Serbian man from Chicago. This has been the
kill count.
Next.
Yep, and Back to Perfection, and I think this is actually Burt's first solo film. He's not playing second fiddle; he's the main hero in this one too. And if I remember correctly, like Kevin Bacon's line, "Can you fly, you sucker?" They are about to fly. I'm not going to spoil it, but for now, I think we got a screen kill count coming up soon. But for now, thanks for watching, everybody. See ya.